Hello, welcome to this presentation on the NTU Sports Science and Management Programme. My name is Stephen Burns. I act as the Programme Lead and I'll be leading you through this presentation that you're listening to. The Sports Science and Management Programme, or SSM for short, was set up in 2009 to address the needs of the growing sport industry here in Singapore. On this slide is a picture of our national stadium, which was completed in 2014 at a cost of more than 1.3 billion Singapore dollars. It was a groundbreaking public-private partnership through the government via Sport Singapore and a consortium of private industry. This partnership represents a clear commitment of both government and private industry to sport in Singapore and the region, neither of whom would have made such a massive investment or commitment without seeing the potential for growth in the sports industry locally. Examples of that growth can be seen on this slide here. And indeed, the number and size of the sports events in Singapore has been expanding, from the Formula One night race to this host of events listed here in this article from the Straits Times in 2018. Investment in sports is not just about events, but sports organisations as well. Here in this slide we see a recent investment in Singapore Rugby, and the gold medal that Olympic champion Joseph Schooling brought home from the Olympics has provided more opportunities and focus for those involved in local swimming. It's not all been about elite sport though. Grassroots participation in sport has been expanding, with more opportunities for participation in sports events for the recreational athlete. The government is interested in sport and physical activity, not only for attracting people to elite sports events, but for keeping the nation healthy, as physical activity helps to combat diseases such as type 2 diabetes, and for helping individuals maintain their fitness for national defence. Sport Singapore laid out their Vision 2030, which is all about people living better through sports. So collectively, what do these reports tell us? They tell us that sport and exercise are a growing priority for the nation at different levels. Individuals are needed who can help serve the sport industry in different ways, from organising and promoting elite sports events, dealing with sports advertising and sponsorship, to managing sports facilities. Other human resources are needed to help and support individuals participating in sport and physical activities, both at elite levels, in recreational activity, and for military service, as well as those for special needs or those who are suffering from lifestyle diseases. It's this sort of human resource that the SSM programme was started for, and we hope to address this by training individuals to specialise in both sports science and sport management. So what is the Sports Science and Management degree? It's a 4 years direct honours undergraduate degree programme. It's the first local Singapore degree programme in the sports area, and it remains so today. And it's the only degree offered by an autonomous institute locally in this area. So what will you do in the SSM programme? In years 1 and 2 of the programme, you take what are called your core courses. These serve as both foundations for sports science and sport management. In years 3 and 4, you progress to your specialisation years. And depending on your interest, you can either take further courses in the sports science area or else the sport management area. This slide further breaks down the structure of your degree that you'll complete whilst you're here at NTU. 70% of what you'll do are your SSM major requirements. These include your core courses in years 1 and 2 that all SSM students have to do. So for example, courses such as Human Anatomy and Physiology, Fundamentals of Sport Injuries, Introduction to Sport Management, and Sport Marketing and Sponsorship. In years 3 and 4, you get to do your specialisation courses, and we call these major prescribed electives. So, for students that choose the sports science route, you can take courses such as sport nutrition, experimental biomechanics, and advanced topics in exercise and sports psychology. For students that choose the sport management route, you can take courses such as sport technology, innovation and entrepreneurship, or sport media and communication. Finally, because we believe that sport is not just about lectures, laboratories and seminars, but also about participation, all SSM students have to take major prescribed elective sport courses as well. Examples of these include principles of strength training, or tennis, soccer, chuckball, and introduction to hip hop and its dances. 30% of what you complete at NTU is your broadening component, and this 30% includes your general elective requirements and your unrestricted electives. General elective requirements are courses that the university mandates that all students should do whilst at NTU. All students must complete 4 courses in the area of science, technology and society, liberal arts, and business and management. There are also other courses that the university feel are fundamental to students' development. These include digital literacy courses, career courses, communication skills, Singapore studies, and environmental sustainability, as well as enterprise and innovation and ethics and moral reasoning. The final 10% of your degree are what are called unrestricted electives, and these are courses that you can choose from NTU wide from any of the different schools. So for example, in business, environment, engineering, or even some more sport courses if you wish. In Year 4 Semester 1, all SSM students must also complete what is called a final year project. The aim of this final year project is to provide students a solid grounding for research and practice in the sports industry for the future. The project itself involves an in-depth study, investigation and testing in any of the areas or courses offered on the programme. And during this project you are guided by a member of the academic faculty. We also think it's important that you gain valuable work experience while you're with us. So Year 4 Semester 2 is dedicated to this. And all students in the SSM programme complete a 20-week internship. At present, we have about 60 employers who are interested in our students, and students get to interview with these employers for a position. After the interview, if you're given an offer, you can choose to accept this offer or reject it and take a place elsewhere. Nevertheless, our students have had many good offers and they all enjoy the internship experience. Here's one example, Jonas and he interned at Teng Fong General Hospital in strength and conditioning rehabilitation. Here's another example in the sports management stream. This is Kyra Troyer. She interned at Lagardère Sports, helping to organise local sports events, including the BNP Paribas WTA finals in Singapore. Although your journey at NTU hasn't even begun yet, when you do come on board, we'll be encouraging you to go away for some time. NTU wants all their students to experience overseas exchange so that you get an opportunity to broaden your horizons whilst you're at the university. There are many different opportunities available to you. They're available from the Office of Global Education and Mobility, or what we call the GEM Explorer programme. This enables students to take courses in an overseas partner university for 1 full semester, whilst at the same time exploring a new country and culture. For this programme, you only pay your fees to NTU, and no fees are paid to the overseas university. So the monies that you have to find are really for your travel and your living costs in that overseas country. There are also GEM Discoverer programs, which are shorter in length, but they range anywhere from 2 to 24 to 22 weeks. And they place students in overseas for work, study or research. Finally, within the SSM program, we offer our own in-house immersion programs from 1 to 2 weeks. And what we do is that we ask groups of SSM students to plan visits to sports universities and organisations in different countries. On this slide you can see two of the programs that we organised, one to South Korea and the other to Denmark and Sweden. All our students enjoy these programs immensely. Career options. What can you do with this degree in the future? If you specialise in the sports science stream, there are a host of different careers that you can go into, from adaptive physical activity to corporate health and wellness, health promotion, sports science support or strength and conditioning. For those of you in the sport management program, you may be interested in other areas. We have students in sport analytics, sport event management, sport facilities management, and areas such as sport tourism. These are new areas which are growing, but of great interest to the economy. The SSM program began in 2009, and our first group of students left us in 2013. Thus far, we've had 7 batches of alumni who have graduated. This is one example, Mr. Joel Pang, who's an associate sport physiologist at Sport Singapore. He works with elite athletes locally, and he gets to attend many of the large sports events within the region. His work involves daily training and monitoring of athletes and helping them to quantify their training loads, as well as to measure adaptations to explain their performance outcomes. Here is another of our alumni featured, Miss Joyce Hui. She is an associate in client services and corporate partnerships with Lagardère Sports and graduated in 2017. She states that during her 4 years in the SSM program, she was actively encouraged to learn through the use of group projects and assignments which were relevant to her, yet challenging and fun at the same time. These projects included meaningful studies of physical activity and leisure for special populations, and case studies of sports facilities and events helped to provide her with valuable insights and a holistic view of the sporting events industry, which currently aid her in her role at Lagardère Sports. The final of our alumni featured is Miss Rachel Lau, who's a sports and exercise therapist with the Posture Lab and who graduated in 2019. She says that her work requires knowledge of not only the anatomy of the human body, but also knowledge of how the body functions, both biomechanically and physiologically. The SSM curriculum helped to prepare her by allowing her to gain a strong foundation of knowledge in sports science, which were helpful in her career. One particular course that stood out for her was physical activity and leisure for special populations, and this has aided her in her work with individuals with special needs. We're proud of our alumni in many other ways. They've gone on to achieve great things. Here we feature 2 of our alumni, Mr. Jeremy Tong of the class of 2016 and Miss Lynette Coe of the class of 2019. Jeremy is a mountaineer who successfully summited Everest in 2019 after an earlier failed attempt in 2017 saw him get to within 200 meters of the summit. Lynette is a climber who broke her back several years ago. She not only recovered from her broken back and returned to climbing, but she now does Ironman triathlons. Both of these alumni are the embodiment of the SSM spirit. Here are some of our other fantastic alumni. On the left hand side you can see Ms. Victoria Chan, a national sailor who retired in 2015, and yet in 2019 she made a successful comeback at the SEA Games. On the right hand side you see national hurdler Ms. Dipna Limprasad, class of 2014, and who was a recipient of our 2019 Nanyang Outstanding Young Alumni Award, both for her successes in athletics and for her charitable work. On the bottom right hand side you see Ms. Seet Shi Ning, a recipient of the 2019 Global Winner for Business at the Global Undergraduate Awards. All of our alumni have done us proud. On this slide you can see some of our employment statistics. The SSM program is grouped under the Humanities and Social Sciences cluster. The employment survey itself was conducted by the Ministry of Education as an independent employment survey for NTU graduates. The overall employment rate for the SSM program was 87% within 4 to 6 months of graduation, whilst the median salary was $3,200. Our employment data are comparable with many of the other programs grouped under this cluster. At the same time, for the SSM program, more than 50% of our graduates were offered a job 1 to 3 months before they actually graduated. Information on fees and scholarships is contained within these next few slides. Current fees are $8,200 per year of your Singaporean, $11,500 per year of your PR, and $17,550 per year for those who are international students. A number of scholarships are available to SSM programs. One scholarship which is unique to our students is the E.W. Barker Scholarship, named after the former Law Minister, Mr. Edmund William Barker. This scholarship provides approximately $8,000 per academic year to 2 to 3 individual recipients. Those of individuals who are interested in this scholarship will be able to show their interest when they apply to the program. Other university-wide scholarships are also available to our students. One of these scholarships is the Nanyang Scholarship, which offers full coverage of subsidised tuition fees and a living allowance of $6,500 per academic year. In addition, there is an accommodation allowance of $2,000 per academic year and a travel grant of $5,000 for an overseas program as a one-off payment. There are also computer allowances and priorities for overseas programs, as well as participation in other programs at the university. Some students may also be eligible for the NTU University Scholars Programme scholarship. Again, this provides full coverage of subsidised tuition fees, a large living allowance and accommodation allowance, as well as a computer allowance and travel grant. There are also overseas benefits in the semester of the NTU USP Study Abroad or NTU Exchange Programme. And neither the Nanyang Scholarship or the NTU University Scholars Programme have a bond for Singaporeans. Finally, for those individuals who are not given a scholarship upon entry, further scholarships are available to students once they have entered the SSM program. One of these is the CPG Sports Scholarship, which is a scholarship of $3,000 tenable for only 1 year. It is open to current undergraduates who have represented NTU in any form of international or national sporting event and brought honour and glory to the university. When you attend the SSM program, you'll be taught by internationally qualified faculty. The SSM program draws from a well-qualified academic body of faculty from the Department of Physical Education and Sports Science, And the SSM faculty are a collective group of individuals who are both passionate and curious about their area of research and teaching. You'll have the opportunity to work with all of these individuals when you come to our program. These are some of our facilities. We have fantastic facilities which are available to our students. They include a water-based hockey pitch, a cardiovascular training room, a strength training room, tennis courts, basketball courts and squash courts, an indoor multi-purpose hall for badminton, netball and basketball, and an indoor gymnasium. We also have our own 25-meter pool. If you're interested in seeing more of our facilities, you'll be able to see our tour, which is available online as well. The SSM program is well ranked and regarded internationally. In the QS World University Rankings by subject, SSM came in at 47th. At the same time, in the academic ranking of world universities, SSM was ranked 65th out of more than 300 sports science schools globally. Here you can see the admission requirements onto the program. Individuals need a Singapore-Cambridge GCE A-level, H1 level pass in mathematics, or a GCE O-level equivalent pass in additional mathematics. For those of you that come from the International Baccalaureate Diploma, you will need mathematics at standard level. And if you attended NUS High School, you need a majors cap of 2.0 in mathematics. For those of you coming from Polytechnic, a Polytechnic Diploma from Nanyang Polytechnic, Niam Polytechnic, Republic Polytechnic, Singapore Polytechnic and Temasek Polytechnic, regardless of specialisation, is recognised for entry onto the SSM program. In addition, a GCE O-level and additional mathematics is preferred. For those who do not meet the maths requirement, but who show potential, you may be called up for interview and considered on a case-by-case basis. In addition, graduates from certain diploma programs from Republic Polytechnic School of Sports, Health and Leisure are considered for direct entry admission into the second year of the SSM program. This slide shows the indicative grade profile for entry onto the program. Please note that the slide shows the data for the 2019 entry at the 10th percentile, and that grade profile entry onto the program changes each year. The data for diploma holders show that a GPA of 3.54 is necessary for entry onto the program, while for A-level holders they would need 3 H2 and 1 H1 A-level at BCC/B. We recognise that many of the students who come to us have been athletes at top level in their own right and have dedicated much of their time to sport. For example, those students in the Singapore Sports School Diploma programs. If you have been a student athlete, you are encouraged to apply for aptitude-based admissions. This is an admission scheme for applicants with exceptional talents and/or outstanding achievements beyond school's co-curricular activities, which is subject to a minimum level of academic competence. If you wish to apply for entry to the SSM program via this route, you are required to fill in the ABA section, including online appraisals, through the online application form. We're proud of the many achievements of our student athletes. They're able to juggle their time in sport along with their studies at the same time. Here you can see the medal tallies from the last 3 sets of SEA Games in 2015, 2017 and 2019. And each year SSM students made a major contribution to the overall medal haul brought in by Team Singapore. Important dates to note with respect to the application are given on this slide. Please take note of the dates. It is important to regularly check the university website for any updates to the application information. Finally, thank you for listening today. We look forward to welcoming you into NTU and onto the SSM programme in August 2020, and hopefully we will be able to see all of you graduate in the future. If you have any questions, you can email or call us at the contact addresses listed. Alternatively, you can find out more information about our programme via our Facebook, Instagram and YouTube websites. Please join us for our live Q&A session on the morning of the 29th of February, and we look forward to seeing many of you in the future. Thank you for listening today.